Hi, Dan. How are you?
Hey, Jordana. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's
Yes.
another Sunday.
Right, and yesterday we got to go on a journey to Ireland. It was great. Did you enjoy the trip?
I did. I had never been to Ireland, so I felt like I was seeing Ireland for the first time, which I was.
Oh, Hallmark had a wonderful production called Love of the Irish. And they brought this wonderful story with wonderful actors for our enjoyment. What did you think about the story?
So I really enjoyed this. This was Hallmark's, it was their first movie of Hallmark's Winter Escape. And so originally aired last weekend, and we decided this was the one we were going to watch this weekend.
Right.
And I really liked it. I was happy we chose this one.
It was very entertaining.
Yeah, I agree.
And it was a love story, as all Hallmarks are, but they actually filmed this story in Ireland, and the vicinity was in around Cork, Ireland, which is in the southernmost part of Ireland. And the scenery was beautiful.
You can tell this one was filmed on set
Yes.
in Ireland, because there is no place that looks as lush and green in this country, the United States, or in Canada.
The Emerald Isle,
Yeah.
Ireland, and the beautiful landscape, beautiful small village with its sea coast, and the beautiful Irish lilt to their English made this a wonderful trip for us. And tell us about the story.
So the story, which I thought was a cute story, was about this young she wanted to be a dancer. So she was going out on casting calls, which many wannabe actresses and dancers do. And she
That's
was
right.
in, I believe, New York City doing casting calls, working as a waitress for a catering company at the beginning of the movie. We saw.
Working for tips.
Yeah.
Trying to make a living.
Yeah, and so the catering company she worked for, when she got this casting call at the beginning, we saw that didn't give her the time off she needed to go on a casting call. So with her luck, which she said she has no luck at all, she lost, unfortunately, her gig that she had
Right.
to be able to go to try out for Giselle, it seemed like. She wanted to dance on here. We saw her, we went along with her on the casting
Yes.
thing, and we heard her talk to the casting director that said she just didn't have the look.
Yes, and then we have to focus on her mother.
Yeah, so then she went home and we saw her mother. And I saw her mother and I said, she looks so familiar. And her face, and I knew her face from somewhere.
And where had you seen her before?
So I had to look up her name, and I said, aha, this is Moira Kelly. And anybody who is my age, who grew up, we were born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s and 90s, and anybody who had seen Cutting Edge and knew the name Topic and knew Cutting Edge, where she played the Ice Princess, she was in Cutting Edge. She also had been in One Tree Hill, the voice
Yes,
of Nala. She is a phenomenal actress, and here she is playing Helen, the mother of Fiona in this movie. And I was so excited to see her.
And the casting, her name is Moira Kelly. Moira is a very common Irish name for young ladies. And of course, Kelly is Irish. And why shouldn't she be in a story about Ireland?
And so is the daughter who played Fiona. Her name is Shanae Grimes Beach, who is also a fellow YouTuber, so we'll have to tag her. But she also was in Degrassi Next Generation and 90210, so she's been in a lot of things.
These people are very well accomplished, and Hallmark is bringing these fine actors and actresses to the screen for our enjoyment. And of course, the lead actor,
his name is Stephen Hagen, and he played Liam, who Hallmark does this a lot. When they travel and they go
Yes.
to another country, they seem to like to hire a lot of actors or actresses who are native to those countries.
That's right. And Liam is from Northern Ireland.
He's from Northern Ireland, and he's Irish, and
Yes.
he has an accomplished
Yes, an extensive resume.
extensive resume, and he has been in Shakespeare theater, and which tons and tons of them. He's been on the BBC, so he's done tons of stuff in Europe, and he seems to be a phenomenal. And he was such a nice added member of this cast.
Well, the story, of course, is that boy falls in love with girl, but tell us about how we got to Ireland. Why did we go to Ireland?
So there always had been a thing that the mother had always been telling her to, take a leap of faith, to just, jump into things to the daughter.
Right.
And so we find out that Helen is the mother's name. She is adopted. And so she has always loved her adopted family, but her biological mother had reached out many years ago by letter, and she had put that letter aside, and she never told her daughter.
The letter was from where?
From Ireland. And
yes.
So the daughter never knew she was part Irish. And the biological mother's name we find out is MJ. And so the mother had been holding onto this letter by her biological mother, and finally on this day shares to her daughter that she'd been holding onto this letter, and shares the letter, or I think maybe the daughter found the letter.
The daughter finds the letter and confronts her mother.
Yeah.
And of course, being Hallmark, we have to now go to Ireland to see if we can find the birth mother.
Right. And it's funny how this happens, because the mother's sleeping. It ends up that the mother had a flood in her store, and so her store is going to be closed, and the father's away on a trip. And so the daughter decides, since she didn't get the part in Giselle, that they have all this time off because she lost her catering gig. And so she gets a trip to Ireland for the two of them, a mother-daughter adventure, and off they go to Ireland, and she packs her mother up. And they're off to Ireland to find the biological mother.
And how our story unfolds.
Yeah.
And, of course, as all Hallmark, the boy meets girl. Everybody ends happily ever after. And
it's fun.
It was just a very fun journey for those of us watching after a Saturday afternoon of football and basketball. We were able to cap the evening with a wonderful Hallmark story. What's for next week?
So next week we're headed to Argentina, in My Argentine Heart. And this one, like all other Hallmarks, our leading lady travels to Argentina to save her family's ranch from being bought by who other than an ex-boyfriend.
Okay, we can see how this is going to go.
How do you think it's going to go, Dan? What do you think is going to happen?
Oh, it should be a romp.
Right, so most likely they're going to fall back in love, is my guess.
But we haven't seen it yet, and next Saturday, Jordana and I will watch the movie and then review it for you, our audience, so you can share Argentina and all of the love that goes on in Buenos Aires and on the Pampas. And I think it would be wonderful to just review that and see if you were correct.
Yeah, exactly. So otherwise, have a wonderful week.
Everybody have a wonderful week, and we extend our sincere wishes to those in Los Angeles who've suffered so terribly over the past week. And we wish that your life will come back around and bring some meaning. So to everybody, have a great week on behalf of Jordana and I, and we'll see you next week in Argentina.
Absolutely.
Ole!
Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.